Alright, yo, man, people were telling me that my brother is fucking jammed. Yo, wait, he's throwing up. Let's check it out. Let's go check him out. Yeah, I don't know if we can see this. Give me some backup lights, cameraman. Give me some backup lights. Yeah, there you go. That's good, that's good. He's in the trash can, man, down in Timothy's bar. He is all fucked up. This is gonna be on fucking TV, man. Check this out. Alright, let's try to get a zoom on this.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Oh, yeah. Alright, this is how he's feeling right now. Oh, shit, man. I'm fucking jammed, yo. Oh.
Give that thing away. Give me something.
Yo, man. I need 250 feet of 12-2 Romex. I need 2.5 feet, 500 feet of PVC conduit. This is for Don Entenman, the master pool and spa wire. Okay, look at this.
Give me a paper towel or something.
Yo, is this like Enigma? Yo, Chris, this is out to you, man.
Watch out for the straw. Watch out for the straw there.
Tim, help me carry it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the other guy. Help you carry what? What do you want to carry it for?
It's my truck.
Well, oh, that's yours?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like Linda's and shit. Yo, wait, are you leaving right now?
Yeah.
Alright, yo, I'm gonna take this out. So just hold on. Oh, no.
There's another puddle right under it.
Oh, man. Alright, yo, we'll be right back. Alright, man. It's like a bit of time later. I don't remember exactly when the last time I talked to you was. But, yeah, man. Like, I had to go out and make sure everything was alright outside, man. Because they're like, cops were here. So, like, there's Pete. He just got all jammed up, man. This is how jammed up he is. Oh, dude, I'm like jammed up. Oh. So that's like how he is, man. He's like all jammed up. Now we got Mac Daddy Neville. He's getting the English ready on the ball. Oh no. That's because the table's off balance. Alright, now we got Master Dan up.
Most definitely.
Big Daddy Dan. Scooping the balls.
Hit it over here.
Alright. Says hit it over there.
Over. There you go. Now hit it right here. Hit it right here. See my fingers at? That's where you want to hit it. You missed. Do it again. Move it over.
Nice. Our battery's dying, folks. Let's go see what's going on upstairs. Here's the Neville. And Daniel.
Hey, here we go, Dad.
There he is. There he is.
It's working.
What's up there?
Hawaiian Tim.
Oh my God.
Oh, trips.
Trips? And attacked her.
Oh, it's okay.
It's an attack.
Matt, we were being really immature, and we started with toasted bacon on his shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her son.
I'm gonna get a bunny.
You are now. They both. Oh. Let's go up top. That's the Atlantic Ocean out there.
I don't know if we can come back, we can go up there too.
So this camera doesn't actually.
Of Soame Sound and the village of Soamesville, which was the first settled village on Mount Desert. In 1761, it was Abraham Soames and James Richardson who came here from Gloucester, Massachusetts, and they built log cabins at the head of the sound, and the following year they moved the families there and settled, and that's how Soamesville gets its name. Now, beyond on the mainland, you'll notice one single high point of land. It's called Blue Hill, and is located in the village of Blue Hill on the ocean, and it's so named because of the low bush blueberry which covers its peak. To the left, by a local person, and nothing was made of this initially except later on recall, the local person thought it very unusual. These two men were wearing suits and overcoats, a dear giveaway in the front of the country. They were not apprehended, they were followed to New York City, where they were later picked up, and that, of course, may have been intentional to expose other contacts. November 1944. Now, if you look to the extreme right and down below, you may notice a group of buildings located down there. We'll be passing that later on at the end of the point of land. You'll notice the private homes there, and that property is bound on Acadia National Park, Schooner Head. You'll also notice a roadway which goes down through that area, and that's a public way.
I was gonna take a picture of that, but I guess I'd have to stand up.
There's a foundation, and that's why the saddle is at a tea house, Great Head, and Sand
No, you're
Beach.
fine. Yeah, I can see fine. I want to hear a big one.
Oh, you missed it a few minutes ago.
Oh yeah.
We got wet here.
Nice. I want to get wet. I think there's gonna be a big one soon.
How far in does it go? How far inside does it go?
Here comes some. I think a big one's coming. Here we go. one's a big one. Splash me. Yeah. I want to see some big water, man.
And it just kind of, it's like this.
The air something. The water bouncing off the air.
Well, it forces the air, sometimes producing a thundering boom. At other times, depending on tide and wave conditions, send it whole. They only utter sloshing and gurgling sounds. So it sounds like you caught it about right.
Go, and he delighted in telling me this same story. He said he pulled a trap at one point, and he took 13 lobsters from the trap. And I said no. He said yes. He took 10 lobsters out of the trap. There were 3 waiting on the outside to get in. Perhaps if you listen carefully, they can hear the bell as it rocks in the ocean. Why young Henry Wadsworth Longfellow spent many summers as a boy. The Suttons and Greenings is mostly a summer colony. The Cranberry Islands are accessible by a ferry boat that leaves on a regular basis throughout the day from Northeast Harbor and Southwest Harbor, and it's kind of a fun trip to take a ride to the Cranberry Islands. The opening
I don't know what's going on here, folks, but the bus driver left us all by herself. I don't know what's going on.
Swamps, lumberjacks and lumberjills, it's time to roll out of the bunkhouse because we're going to start cutting some wood. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and welcome to the Great Maine Lumberjack Show. My name is Woody Williams, and I'll be your host here this evening for the show. And what we're going to do tonight is have an old-fashioned lumberjack competition like you may have seen in the North Woods of Maine over 100 years ago. And we've got 2 teams of lumberjacks. They're going to be competing in underhand chopping, crosscut sawing, speed climbing, axe throwing, log rolling. We've got relay races and a lot of other great events. And as I said, I've got 2 teams of lumberjacks raring to go. They're honing their axes and filing their saws. And I'm going to bring them out in just a moment. But we're going to have some fun here tonight. We're going to get you guys actively involved here a bit. We're going to divide you up into 2-team cheering sections so you can cheer for your own team here tonight. Now pretend that you just came out of the Maine woods and you're down at the Sawmill Pond for your annual logging competition. You got your best lumberjacks out there competing against the other team. So when I bring these guys out, you want to hoot and holler and shout all you can here tonight. Now, everyone on this side here tonight, you're cheering for the red team. Let's put our hands together for the red team. All right. And everyone from this side over, you're cheering for the green team. Okay. Hey, now if you see something you like out here tonight, and I'm sure you will before the night's through, hoot and holler, scream at the top of your lungs, throw the kids up in the air, or if you really want to get these guys' attention up here, just beller one of these out from your guts like I did when I came out here. Yo-ho! Red team? Yo-ho! Very nice. Green team? Yo-ho! All right, let's bring out our lumberjacks and let the wood chips fly. Our first competitor is from Ellsworth here, and he's the youngest member of our team. He's a great all-around athlete, and he's a great chopper, sawyer, speed climber. Let's have a nice hand for Mr. Josh Monroe. All right, and our next competitor is from Franklin, Maine, which is just up the road a piece from Hancock, up off Route 1. And this is his first year here at the Lumberjack Show. He was a member of the Woodsman's team at Colby College, and he was studying forestry. He's currently working down on Mount Desert Island at Acadia National Park for the National Park Service during the day. And then at night, he puts on his plaid shirt, comes out and chops a bit of wood. Great chopper, sawyer, speed climber. Let's have a nice hand for Mr. Carl Grosjean. All right, and our next competitor is from Waltham, Maine, which is up the road a piece outside of Ellsworth, and this is his third year back here at the Great Maine Lumberjack Show. And he is also working for the National Park Service this summer down at Acadia National Park, and he's one of our only all-around lumberjacks, meaning he competes in underhand chopping, crosscut sawing, speed climbing, and gets into the log rolling pond. Let's have a nice hand for Mr. Travis Hardison. Nice crowd tonight. All right, now, oh, whoops. I've got one more block there to fill. Last but not least, our last competitor is not a lumberjack, it's a lumberjill. And she started out at the age of 6 years old, log rolling, and the sport has literally taken her around the globe. She was just at Lake Placid for the Great Outdoor Games. Maybe some of you saw that on ESPN this past week. And she was at Lake Placid. She was one of 8 women in the world chosen to compete in the women's endurance races there. And she took 2nd place at the Great Outdoor Games, and she's also been the voice of the Steel Timber Sports Series on ESPN. Let's have a nice hand for Miss Timbertina Shear. Hi, Tina. All right, ready to go. All right, now our first competition here tonight is going to be the underhand chop. And this is how the lumberjacks first cut the timber that lay on the forest floor into manageable lengths. And they first did this with axes before the use of crosscut saws. And they would fell the timber to the floor, timber cruiser would come through, mark out the logs at certain lengths. Lumberjacks stand on top of those logs, cut halfway through on one side, make their turn and cut the halfway through on the other side. And the axes we're using here tonight are not regular hardware store axes. These are axes that come from Australia and New Zealand, where wood chopping is considered a national sport. These axes weigh 3 to 5 pounds apiece, and they're razor blade sharp. You literally shave with one of these axes. And the Australians and New Zealanders developed these axes with a special blend of metals that holds an edge really well. And interesting note is no matter how much Yankee technology is tried, we've never been able to duplicate this type of metal in axes here in the United States. You can see that we've removed the bark from the logs here tonight. That's to ensure that these axes don't encounter a sand or dirt that may grow within the bark as the tree's maturing. So we peel the logs and we've got a nice fresh piece of wood to cut there. Now there's a method to wood chopping. Of course, speed is very important and accuracy is much more important, especially when you've got a 5-pound razor blade glancing just inches between your toes. But the real key is to move the most amount of chips with the least amount of hits. If you take too much wood, you're wasting time in a competition. If you take too little wood, you're going to V out in the center of your log before you intersect into the other side that's already been cut. So you can see that they've marked out their logs with crayons. There's a formula for this. If you have a 10-inch log, you want to open it up with a 10-inch wide opening cut, and so on for the different diameters of wood. They're going to stand up on top of their logs, and they're going to cut through on their front side, which is facing me, and then they'll make their turn and finish off on the back side, which is facing you folks. And then, don't start crying yet, I just got started. Just kidding. Now when they make their turn, you'll be able to see the pattern in which they remove their chips. They'll start out with 2 big blows, one on either side of the log, and then hopefully they'll get a nice big chip to fall out. And then they'll go in sort of a clockwise pattern around the log, putting a hit in the top, hitting the other side of the top, hitting the bottom, top, bottom, around the clock till all the chips are out of there. All right, what's the matter? Didn't you like that one?
I don't want to use the brand new axe in the big knot.
Oh, okay. In the big knot. That is not a favorite thing to have in your log, a knot. But it's the luck of the draw. All right, looks like we're all ready to go. Cutting for the green team. Let's hear it for Timber and Josh. And cutting for the red team. Let's hear it for Travis and Carl. All right, we're ready to go here. Axe person's ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Go ahead, cheer him on there now. And everybody's got nice cuts going there. Carl's got a beautiful log going down that end. So has Timber and Josh and Travis as well. And Timber's made her turn. Travis has made his. Carl's ready to go. Everybody's turned around. Keep going here now. What's it look like? Little wiggle down here in block 1. There we go. And Travis is ready to drive it there. Josh. Travis is off. Now let's give Carl a little encouragement there. Little wiggle there. A few more hits. One more. Timba. How about it? Let's give them all a nice hand there. Whew. A lot of work. I know you want to cheer on. Give a little silence while you eyes up the target. Then you can break into a big roll. 4 points for Carl. Now, if they just nick the inner color, we give them the higher score. Here's Timba.
Oh.
2 points there for Timber. There's Josh. Whoa, that's a pretty one there. 1 point there for Josh.
Better than the last one again.
Here's Travis. And 2 points for Travis there.
Go, Carl.
Go!
For a total of 8. Here's Timber again. points for Timber for a total of 5. Yep, you're inching your way in, but you only got one more throw left. Here's Josh. And 3 points for Josh for a total of 4. Here's Travis, he's got 2. And 4 points for Travis for a total of 6. All right, Josh is leading off. He has 4. Nope, you're not the total. All right. And 3 points for Josh. He runs out with 7. Let's give him a nice hand there. Timber's got 5. And 3 more for a total of 8. Let's give her a nice hand. Here's Travis. Travis got 6. And 4 more for a total of 10. Carl's got 8. All you need is 2 to tie, 3 to win.
Come on, Carl. Give it back, Carl.
And 4 points. Carl wins that one. Let's have a nice hand for all of our axe throwers there. All right, we're going to get out our crosscut saws here now for a sawing competition. And if you walked in here tonight, saw the old-fashioned crosscut saws on the sugar shack there, maybe you see them back in the jack shack hanging up along the door. Those saws are called peg and raker saws, and those were brought over here from Europe. And when they first brought in the crosscut saws in the logging camps, 2 good sawyers could outcut a dozen of the best axemen. And those peg and raker saws get their name from the 2 different style of cutting teeth on the saw. The pegs actually slice the wood, and the raker tooth comes through and gouges the chip out, much like a chisel. And makes for a very free-pulling saw, and they're some of the most winning saws used in competition today in North American competition. Now the saws we're using here tonight are M-tooth racing saws. These were developed in Australia, and they have many little teeth, as Vanna Green is showing you. Many little teeth are all shaped like little M's, and they both cut and drag the chip out of the wood. And a good crosscut saw is going to cost you anywhere between $1,400 and $2,000 per saw. And there's literally only a handful of men in the world that make these tools, about a half a dozen men that hand make all these saws. All right, we're going to have one cut competition here tonight, and we're going to let our competitors set the teeth of the saw into the wood. We do this number 1 for safety, so that saw doesn't jump out of the block on the first cut, and also so we get a nice straight cut lined up. Hold on. Hey, that's an inch or so. All right. Okay. Sawing for the red team. Let's hear it for Travis and Carl. And sawing for the green team. Let's hear it for Josh and Tina. All right. Cheer on your favorites. Sawyer's ready. 3, 2, 1, go. For Timber and Josh. We lost a block right off of here. Yeah, it was a block there.
I missed that on tape.
All right, we're gonna give these guys just a second here to set this block up.
I think losing this block is better than my
It's interesting to note that these crosscut saws, the M-tooths, are still used here in North American competition. They're not quite as common as they were, say, 20 years ago. When the Australians first brought over these M-tooth racing saws, they were really the cat's meow. And an interesting note that within the last, 10 years, there's a couple saw makers up in Quebec, Canada, that have modified the peg and raker saws quite a bit. And now the peg and raker saws are what you see on television winning most of the competitions, such as the Steel Timber Sports Series or at the Great Outdoor Games as well. And to modify those saws, they've taken and lengthened the teeth, creating big deep gullets, the spaces in between the teeth. And those gullets store the chips. These saws are so fast now that they had to make bigger spaces to store the chips before they would dump out onto the saw as the saw clears either side of the block of wood. And as I said, there's about 3 saw makers up in Canada that have modified these today. And as I said before, they're probably some of the most winning saws used in competitions here now. All right, we're going to move in a little closer to you here now and go into our obstacle pole choker set, PV log roll choker set obstacle pole relay race. And okay, it's 3 events combined in one. What they're going to do, they take the PVs, they're going to roll logs down to the center bunk logs, bunk the logs, run back, grab the choker cable, run the choker cable around the log, draw it up tight, run down, grab the power saw, start it up, walk out to the end of the log, make a 1 cookie cut off the end, run back down, drop the power saw, first guy back out to touch the end of the block is the winner. Everybody got that? I'll do it a little slower in a bit. But we're going to start out with a PV log roll, and the PV is a tool you see right there, and that is a tool that was invented right here in the state of Maine by a man named Joseph W. Peavy. He was a river driver up on the Penobscot River, and before the use of PVs, they used to use long pike poles on those river drives to steer logs, to pick apart log jams, and he got the idea of putting this hook on the end here, and that hook gives you a lot more leverage for twisting apart those log jams, and it's also real handy for moving big logs on the ground as well. The PV company is still in existence today up in Eddington, Maine. They make a lot of hand logging tools as well as some home and garden tools as well. And then we're using steel chainsaws, and we're using 018Cs. These are a nice homeowner saw. We're going to let the guys start and warm up the saws before the race, as we do in any chainsaw race. All right, they're warmed up there now. All right, so we're going to take PV log roll down to the center bunks, bunk the logs, then grab this choker cable, run it around that log, draw it up tight, and then go down, grab the power saws, walk out to the end, 1 cookie cut, run back down, drop the saw, first one back out to touch the end of the block is the winner. And racing for the green team, let's hear it for Josh Monroe. And racing for the red team, it's Carl Grosjean. All right, racers ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Heads up down there. Kick it up a little dust there now. Oh, Carl. Oh, it's hanging up there tight. Ride it, Carl. All right. He had a choker. He had it set. All right. There, Carl got it there. Let's give both a nice hand there. Woo! All right. We're going to move on to our hot sawing event here next. And the hot saws we're using here tonight are steel 046 Magnums, and yes, we've souped these up. We've modified the carburetors in these saws, added the stinger pipe or expansion chamber on there. It allows for more fuel to run through the saws and increases the RPMs. This is what you'd call a modified stock class competition. If you were racing in this type of division, there are many divisions in sawing. If you're racing in this division, you may also file your chains a little bit differently, and you can also burn alcohol in your saws. But we're just running a straight gas and oil mix here tonight, and wearing a stock steel rapid super cutting chain. Hey folks, there's some seats up in the corner up here if you'd like to sit down up in the bleachers yet. And you will be on the red team. Just, hey, don't. All right. And we're going to have a 3-cut competition here tonight. 1 cut down, 1 cut up, and another cut down. And we're going to let them start and warm the saws before the race here. Now, these are very loud saws, so please cover your ears. If you have small children, make sure you cover theirs first and take care of yourself secondly. All right, they're just going to warm them up for a little bit and shut them down. Go ahead and start your engines.
Almost that loud.
She warmed up? I guess so. All right. Now they're going to set those saws on the ground, and they'll strategically place them beneath the block of wood that they're going to be cutting here. And the key to championship hot sawing is being fast to the wood, and then nice, crisp, clean changeovers between your down cut, your up cut, and your last down cut there. And sawing for the red team, let's hear it for Travis Hardison. 3 cuts. And sawing for the green team, let's hear it for Tim Bertita. Yeah, all right, just kidding. All right, nothing. 3 cuts. I was just saying 3 cuts. All right, Sawyer's ready. 3, 2, 1, go. Come on, let's give them both a nice hand there. Travis wins that one. Get those guys out, cut a little firewood for you, huh? Sunday afternoon.
Hey, I think the red team sharpened my chain with a hammer. I'm sure.
Okay, all right. We'll check it out later. All right, we're going to move into our speed climbing race here now. And the trees we're climbing here tonight are western red cedar trees. And these trees are the most commonly used trees in climbing competitions. And they're used most often when the trees are to be used year after year. Number one, because of their long life, they're naturally rot resistant. And they're also a very good tree because they accept the climber's gaff on their foot very easily. They're just strong enough to support the weight of the climber, and also they're soft enough to release that gaff also. And these trees are 62 feet tall, and there's 10 feet in the ground. And the number 2 tree used in competition would probably be a Douglas fir. And they use those out on the west coast, and they'll use them for one competition, one weekend's competition. And then after the competition's over, they ceremoniously cut them down to the ground, and then they haul them off to a lumberyard and have them milled into board lumber. You can see the guys are getting on some special equipment there. They have a hemp rope with a steel core in the center of it, and that's attached to a regular linesman's belt. And then they use the rope and gloves to help their bodies go up vertical up the tree, and then they also use it as a braking system on the way back down. And then they have a regular set of linesman's gaffs. We get these from a company in Pennsylvania. And we take the gaffs and we shorten them up a little bit, and then we turn them, bend them and turn them in towards the tree. And that allows just the point of the gaff to go into the tree and not sink in very far. And it also helps the gaff to roll back out of the tree, especially on their ascent back down. And then to finish off the whole combination, we have some color-coordinated crash pads for a nice safe landing at the bottom. And tonight we're going to do a 40-foot climb, which is to the first black line and down. It's an up and down race, so you want to cheer these guys on all the way up and back down to the bottom. And climbing for the red team, let's hear it for Carl Grosjean. And climbing for the green team, let's hear it for Josh Monroe. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? All right, I didn't want to rush you. All right, cheer them on. Climbers ready. 3, 2, 1, go! Nice solid climb by both these guys. Look at that green tree up there wobbling. And a nice down by both these guys. Josh won that one. Hey, Josh, the pad's over there. I know about that kid. Hey, I'll tell you what, on all the events you've seen up here so far, that is one where you're using every muscle in your body at the same time, going up and down that tree, from your calves to your thighs and your butt and your back and shoulders and arms, right out to your fingertips hanging out of the rope. They make it look real smooth and easy. Let's give them a nice hand there. Real nice job. All right, what we do every night at the Great Maine Lumberjack Show at this time is we invite the small kids out of the crowd to come up and crosscut saw with the lumberjacks. And it's a great opportunity to try out these crosscut saws, and also when they're done we give them a free souvenir wood cookie that they can get autographed afterwards. So if there's some small children that like come down and try it, come on down and line up in front. Please walk down. Walk. And if there's parents that would like to take photos, you can come and stand in the chips up here and take photos. Come right in the middle here. If you've got a partner, get a partner. Oh! Travis, what are you doing? Josh!
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Hey, what's going on here?
He stole my girlfriend.
He stole your girlfriend. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Well, it happened last night. We went out for a couple of cold ones.
Cold ones? Hold on.
Ice cream, Woody.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I thought I'd be a nice guy and pay for everyone, so I come back from paying, and he's got his arm around her.
Arm around your girlfriend.
Travis.
Travis.
Go, Travis.
Hey, okay, easy now. Bring out the bouncers here. Travis, well, take a good look at Travis here now. Does he look like your girlfriend stealer?
Yeah.
How do you know what they look like there, young lady? Yeah, pretty convincing, yes. Hey, listen, Travis, tell us the truth here now. I know you're an honest man. Did you honestly try to steal Josh's girlfriend?
No, it didn't happen like that, Woody, because I can't steal anything I can't fit in the back of my pickup truck.
Whoa! Hey, them's fighting words there. We're going to have to settle this the old-fashioned way. No, not a gunfight.
Fit in the back of my pickup truck. He's saying
No, not a chainsaw. Put the saw down. No! I'm sorry, but we have to do this night after night. No chainsaws. We're gonna have a lumberjack log joust here. See, there wasn't any fighting allowed in the old-time lumber camps. Troublemakers were immediately expelled. So what they do, they send them down stream side where they'd run a log out across the stream. They'd cut a couple sapling trees, wrap woolen Mackinac blankets out on the ends, and let them duke it out in a log joust here. But now we have the more modern day version of our jousting poles here. We start with closet rods, toilet plungers, 4 square balls, and the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. All right. And before we start the match, there are a few rules. Rule number 1, no roundhouse swinging. Hey, Travis. Hey. Travis, stop. I said no roundhouse swinging.
Well, I had to show him what not to do.
Rule number 2, no low blows. And Josh, now I said no low blows.
Oh, I thought you
said go low blow.
Rule number 3, there'll be no ear biting. And we're going to start with a friendly handshake before the match. Hey, Josh. I met with Travis. Oh. All right, get up here now. All right, who wants to see Travis win for the red team? Who says no way? It's Josh for the green team. All right, there they go. Cheer them on. Travis does win that one. Hey, you want us? Was that enough? Want to see some more? All right, well, best 2 out of 3. All right, we got a hockey crowd here tonight. All right, Travis in the red, Josh in the green. Cheer him on. It's 1 fall apiece there.
Come on, Travis!
All right, again, who wants to see Travis win for the red team? Who says no way? It's Josh for the green team. Tell you what, who could really care less see them both go head first to the bottom of the pond? All right, here they go. Hey, turn your stick around there. No, halfway around. All right, let's go. There we go. He's got him tipping. Travis wins that one. Let's give them both a nice hand there. All right, let's give Josh a nice hand there as he goes back, gets some dry clothes on. Travis is gonna stay out here now for our log rolling competition. And log rolling started from the old time work that the river drivers used to do on the spring log drives. And the lumberjacks would cut wood all winter long, and they drag the wood out of the forest on sleighs. And they usually would drag them down to a river's edge or out onto a frozen pond or lake. And then in the spring, when the spring rains would come, the snow would melt, they'd release these logs downstream, and it was the river driver's job to get these logs all the way down to the sawmill pond. It was a very dangerous occupation. They were riding on a floating carpet of logs, and they were continually picking and prying apart log jams all the way down. It was very dangerous also because if you fell off of a log, it would mean either being crushed by other logs coming downstream or dying from hypothermia from the freezing cold water in the spring. So they were considered one of the most highly skilled of all the lumberjacks in the camp, and they were also one of the most highly paid. We're going to have a best out of 3 competition here tonight. And again, rolling for the red team, let's have a nice hand for Travis Hardison. And his worthy opponent here tonight He's just rolled in from Hayward, Wisconsin, from the Lumberjack World Championships and Log Rolling World Championships, where he rolled in the boys intermediate division. Let's have a nice warm welcome for our son Charlie. And Charlie just took, he was log rolling at the World Championships. He took 4th place in the world in his division there. All right, we're gonna get these two back out here. Get them out here. Have a best out of 3 match. Who's cheering for Travis on the red team? Who says no way? It's Charlie for the green team. All right. There are rules in log rolling. You may not cross the red center line, and you may not touch your opponent. Otherwise, anything else goes. You can kick and splash water. You can rock and roll the log. Concentration is essential, and you always want to keep your eyes on your opponent's feet. Quick little steps. Whoa, there Travis gave Charlie a good chuck there. Yeah! Charlie runs along. Charlie wins that match. Let's give them both a nice hand. Now the log that they're rolling on here tonight is a western red cedar log, same as our climbing trees. And no matter where you go around the world to chop or saw, you can usually cut a local species that's native to the area or available. But whenever there's a log rolling competition, we always have to ship in a western red cedar log. It's the official wood of the International Log Rolling Association, which I'm sure many of you are members. And this log happens to be 15 inches diameter and 13 feet long. All right, we're gonna get them right back out there again. Who's cheering for Charlie on the green team? Who says no way? It's Travis on the red team. Charlie tried to get a little poop full of water there. He's trying to splash that water up into Travis's eyes there and blind him a bit. Yeah, I think he's soaking himself as well. There he came. Whoa! Nice recovery there. All right, we're gonna call timeout and bring him over to the edge of the tank here again so they don't get too close. Let's give them both a nice hand there again. Very good rolling. All right, we're gonna get that log pulled around a bit. Now, in a professional competition, they'll start out with a 15-inch log, and then they go to a 2-minute. Then they'll have a 2-minute time limit on that first log. If they expel the time limit, they go down to a 14-inch log. If they expel that time limit, they go to a 13-inch log. And then if they expel that time limit, they go to a 12-inch log with no time limit. And competitions do not last very long on the 12-inch log there. All right, no time on that one. All right, we're gonna bring the log back over here. Come on, Charlie. He's trying some fancy landing down there. All right, hold on. All right, we're gonna give him a good start. Can you hop in from there? That's all right. Want to get a good start. In any match, they pull the rollers out. They'll have 2 poles, and each log roller will hang onto a pole. They'll push them out away from the log rolling dock, and then as soon as they gain control of the log, they'll call time in. So they'll have to have, each log roller gets to have a fair chance to have a good start on the log. All right, there, we're gonna get them back out. Get them away from the deck a little ways. All right, cheer on your favorite there. Travis in the red, Charlie in the green. What do you mean? Thank you very much. I thought you were carving a little bunny.
I did one. It's right here.
Where do you see bunnies that look like that, Carl?
Right on the road.
bunny doing out on the road?
I think it was tired.
Hey, that's how I thought you were gonna do a little bunny, some floppy ears and a little tail and whiskers.
I am, Woody. I was just living off the top of my log.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, watch, Carl. It's quick carve, little bunny. There's ears. How's it look? Look at the smile on his face. Must be pretty nice. It's a punchy bunny. Look at two cute ears there, a couple eyes there, narrow eyes, and a little nose and a big happy lumberjack smile. It is beautiful. You know what? I think that's probably the best one he's ever done. But you know, hey, hold it. You're not finished yet because you forgot the tail.
I forgot the tail and that fancy cut with those fluffy eyebrows.
Okay, 2 more cuts, tail and some fluffy eyebrows. We're all done. There's the tail. Carl.
Okay, the whole thing doesn't even start here anyway. It starts in the United Kingdom, in the Midlands of England, where the barley is grown. Now, there are different strains of barley depending on the end use, and this is, of course, barley that's destined to become beer. Once it's harvested, the maltster takes it, and the first thing he'll do is to sprout the grains by soaking them in water for about 3 days. Once the grains have sprouted, he will drain them, put them in a giant kiln where they will be dried and toasted. Now, the degree of toasting that takes place will depend upon the kind of recipe that the malt, as the malted barley is going to be called, is destined for. For example, our real ale uses a very lightly toasted malt called crystal malt, whereas our cold porter uses a very heavily toasted malt called chocolate malt, which is indeed about the color of baking chocolate and has a very distinctive aroma and indeed mimics the flavor of chocolate to a certain extent. So the choice of the malt for your recipe is, of course, key to the final product. Stuff's then shipped over here in big white plastic bags. Sometimes you see them up on the mezzanine there lined up when the brewer's getting ready to start a new recipe. Not today, however. Maybe some of you have heard that old saying, well, that's grist for your mill. I have to say, you know, I always thought, grist for your mill. I mean, how many people today know what that means? Surely there aren't any mills around. Well, we've got one right up there, labeled, handled, grist mill. First thing the brewer will do is to collect 600 or 700 pounds of the type of malt that she needs for the recipe she's going to make, and she will send it down through that grist mill where it'll be ground, and you can see where the little galvanized tube comes out under the floor there. Well, that is connected by a big white tube to that second kettle there, the one with the green knob on the front and it's got a big pot sitting in front of it. That is the mash tun. And as that ground malt drops in there, it's sprayed with hot water. And it'll make a nice porridge in the bottom of the tun. And within the next 30 minutes, the starch will change to sugar. And just as an aside, the malted barley produces about 8 times the sugar of plain old unmalted barley. So this, of course, is one of the key reasons for malting the barley. At the end of that half hour, they'll add some more water and move that sugar water over to that end tank, the one on the end up against the wall. Of course, this leaves behind the spent barley. Now, a couple years ago, you know, the owners were talking to one of their scientist buds over at the famous Jackson Lab, and he said, well, I hope you're not throwing out that spent barley because it's full of nutrients. Enter the pig farmer. It just happens that right at this moment we have some spent barley right here. As you can see, it's not bad looking. It smells good too. It smells good. Yep. And depending on which barley it is, sometimes it's even more golden, would make a bottle blonde envious. It depends on which, you know, malt they've been using. But the pig farmer comes and carries this stuff off, and the pigs pig out all summer long. Now, it is my understanding, although I was not here, that in the fall comes the pig farmer bearing bacon and sausage. Now, personally, I don't like to think about it. You know, I'm the type that goes to the supermarket, looks in the cooler, born right there, wrapped in saran wrap, with a label on it. It's bacon and sausage. As you can see, I'm in heavy denial. However, I console myself with the thought that the pigs had a really, really, really good summer. Now back to the big boiling tank. That sugar solution is going to be there for about 3 hours. And it is here that the flavors, principally the hops, are added. Now there's hops for aroma and hops for body, flavor. And so the brewer will choose the kind and amount of hops that are appropriate for the recipe she's making. For example, our real ale is pretty lightly hopped. On the other hand, our special old bitter is heavily hopped, both for aroma and for flavor and body. This is also the place where our special summer brew, ginger wheat, gets its special flavor. First of all, ginger wheat is not made entirely from barley malt, but has 20% wheat. Then, in this big boiling tank, the brewer makes a giant tea bag out of about 30 pounds of ground fresh ginger. Sticks it in there as if it were a giant teapot, and the flavor of fresh ginger will be infused into the brew. At the end of 3 hours, we're getting closer to actually making beer. You notice we haven't had any alcohol yet. The only thing is we're going to have to talk about yeast. And if you've ever made yeast bread, you know that it's very easy to murder yeast if your liquid is too hot. So the next task is to cool that boiling hot hot sugar water down to a much cooler temperature. And to do that, well, in fact, right now that tank is connected. You see the orange hoses going off to the right? Well, they're connecting to a nifty device, simple, that's made up of, it's called a heat exchange. It's made up of a whole bunch of these panels right up against each other until you have about that many. That very hot stuff is pumped in there, and it runs up and down and up and down and up and down on one side of the panels until it's run about 400 feet simultaneously. From that white tank on the bottom, cold well water in the 40-degree range is pumped in, and it runs up and down, up and down, up and down on the other side of those panels until it's run about 400 feet. And at the end, eureka, you have 68-degree hot sugar water ready to go, and the formerly cold well water is now 140 degrees. It will be stored up in that top insulated tank where it can be reused without reheating. Next task is to move that sugar hot water to one of these great big fermentation tanks. That one down there, see the white pail with the hose going in it? That's in the act of fermenting right now. That hose, maybe you can vaguely hear it going blue, 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 is a kind of safety valve for the excess CO2. And of course the brewer knows that fermentation's going place when she hears that. Now, this was not going yesterday, and it's just started. I don't think the fermentation has really gotten going yet because we don't have any CO2 being expelled. But I'm going to talk about this one. Say we've got 15 barrels of the hot sugar water in there. The next thing is to add the yeast. Now the choice and care of the yeast is really key to having good beer and consistent beer of good quality. The brewer will put about 5 pounds of yeast in there with all that nice sugar, and it will begin gobbling and growing and growing and growing until at the end of 7 to 8 days it will have expanded 5 times and used up all that lovely sugar, but all the while making alcohol and CO2. Now at the end of that time, we really have what you can legally call beer. However, should I pull off a pint and say, do have some? I don't think you'd care for it since it's not too attractive looking. You know, it's kind of hazy. It's got little bits of yeast, little bits of protein floating about in it. So the next thing is to begin clearing it up. Now each of these tanks has a sleeve around it that can be refrigerated. So over the next 3 days I'll bring the temperature in that tank down to about 34 degrees. This will cause the yeast to precipitate into that cone at the bottom. Now do we throw the yeast out now? Because yeast can be reused for a number of generations, typically up to about 12. Beyond that, you run the risk that it will mutate, at which point it might ruin your beer, and heaven forbid it should get loose in your brewery and contaminate it, and you'd be raising the brewer's equivalent of vampires and werewolves. So they stop in the due time. Do they throw it away? They do not. Enter the goat farmer. Now, you know, sometimes you're here and there doing different things each time I'm over here. And a lot can happen, you know, between one tour and the next. But one day when I was here, they had just emptied that cone into one of these big things, sitting over there. So of course I rushed right up to take a look. Well, if you've ever seen yeast you use for making bread, you know it is not the world's most attractive sight. It's kind of a horrid shade of brownish, grayish, and it's granular and blah. Well, that's about the way this looked. And I thought, let me take a whiff. So I bent over and breathed in very deeply, and I thought, whoa, those goats are going to party, party, party all summer long. Now, of course, alas, the reality of the thing is that no doubt the alcohol evaporated out of there pretty quickly. But doesn't it make a nice fantasy to think of those goats all summer long and maybe playing the pipes? Kind of makes up for the poor pigs. And I understand that in the fall, the goat farmer comes bearing goat cheese. The next thing is to move the brew over to the bright beer tanks, these giant holding tanks, which are essentially kegs. Now, most of the brews will be sent through a 5-micron wine filter, not cold porter though, since it's an unfiltered brew. They will lose a little of the CO2 on the way over, so they really have to add some more. So they'll lower the temperature another couple of degrees to 32, and by adding the CO2 by this traditional cold method, they're ensured of getting the teeny tiny elegant champagne style bubbles instead of the big soft drink type, you know, that lesser brews might have. This is also the place at which our blueberry ale gets its several hundred pounds of fresh blueberry juice added. But we are now essentially ready to bottle our brews. So if you'll step over to the next bay, take a look at our giant bottling machine. You will notice that there's a kind of slant vent that goes down toward that superstructure in the middle, and you see 4 plastic tubes hanging down. That's where the 4 bottles that are going to get filled will sit. They load the bottles up on this slant 4 across, and they go down sets of 4, sets of 4. Now to fill a beer bottle is not so simple as just taking a hose and going squirt, because all you get is foam. So they use a counter pressure technique. Those tanks are under 12 pounds of pressure. The machine will inject CO2 into the bottles to build the pressure, the 4 that are under there, of 12 pounds. They let the beer flow over from the bright beer tank, and it'll stop right at the bottle because of the counter pressure. Then the machine lowers the pressure in the bottle just enough so that the beer will flow in up to the 12 ounce or the 22 ounce level. Still not ready to put the cap on them because there is air in the neck of the bottle, and air is an enemy of good beer. So by a process called cold, the machine will make a little micro injection of CO2 into the neck of the bottle, and the brew will foam up, forcing out the air, and they clamp the tops of it. And then, you know, when the bottles come out for 10 or 15 minutes, there'll be a whole bunch of them there with foam in the neck until it's had a time to settle. But they're now ready to put into 6-packs and or cartons. And then they're moved over into the other half of this building, which is our big warehouse, which is kept in a beer-friendly, climate-controlled, in the 60s temperature mode. Sometimes, I don't think it's here today, busy. The other day, I live in a little village called Bass Harbor, and as I was coming by my local Texaco convenience store right down at the corner, Big Al's Pit Stop, I looked, and there is this brightly painted fleet of one truck It goes all over the island and delivers brew to the various restaurants and bars and convenience stores and whatnot. We do now, only within the last year or so, have a distributor in Bangor and a distributor in Portland, and then slowly different places in between are beginning to have at least some of our breweries. I understand that several of the more in pubs in Portland now have just about all of the brews on tap. Now, I think I told you at the beginning that that first year they produced around the equivalent of 104 cases. This year it'll be more like 10,000 plus 2,000 kegs. Now that's a lot of growth in 10 years. But believe me, and you can tell by looking, this is still a microbrewery. I mean, the people from Budweiser would fall down laughing if they could see a bottling machine. 2 guys run it. On at least one occasion, when somebody was out, I seen one of the owners helping to run it. Of course, he could be sitting in his corporate offices, so labeled corporate offices on the glass door over in the gift shop, or he could be out mowing the lawn, but since it's so dry, he's more likely moving the sprinkler. So, you know, it's still microbrewery, still a small family affair, and, you know, people do what they gotta do to keep the place running. Now, if you go back to the gift shop, we'll taste the wares. And the kids will get some root beer, having been excellent.
Soon, otherwise we're gonna feel like going in this island on the Pacific island over here. It's 5 o'clock now, tides will be coming in, covering up all the water shortly. Oh, feel that wind.
Look at the dude in the kayak. Ugh.
Gets on, so we stayed right next to there, right over there first night. Now we're on the other side of the cat over there. Sun is over here, so which means sun
would be over here.
By tonight?
No. Tonight it's gonna be.
Okay.
It's gonna go down there.
It rises in the east.
Yeah, but that's where we're gonna be checking it out.
Where's?
It's either that one or these. I think it's that one.
Not that the sun is necessarily facing us this way, even though it's in our face.
Yeah.
Pusa. I want to drive our car up through there, man. That would be cool.
Look, you go run and get the car, and you can come kick my ass and fall. Woo! Look at those tootsies.
Which pushy at?
Yeah.
Man, turn it off. No, you didn't. I didn't hear a beep.
You did not hear the beep.
You love sticking your tongue out, don't you?
You got a problem with my tongue?
Yeah.
You do? I remember.
I can't tell you why right now because we're on camera. I have a problem. Never mind, I can't say it now.
This is our messy room. It's starting to look like hell. Let's go see what Tim's doing in here. Parental discretion advised. We might see something we don't want to see.
Yo, Carol,
oh,
stop.
Shit.
Carol.
I hope y'all closed your eyes. I know I sure did. Ugh. Alright, we're out of here.
Wake up.
It's too early.
Right now, we are atop Cadillac Mountain. The first place in the whole United States that the sun touches. First.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be over there. A lot of people are like turning towards that way.
Wow.
Most people got their camera out so that.
Well, there's no place over there to sit. I like the town. Wherever it was, right down here. Nah.
That's that we went on yesterday too.
I don't. This cloud to the left, see that one there? If that wasn't there, that would be a little lighter too. You can see inside that little hole in the middle.
Yeah.
See a little bit of orange in there. Yeah, it looks like it was right here, but now it's looks like it's over this way. Is that what we're going for breakfast? Yeah, I'm gonna have a lobster omelet. And a blueberry muffin. And I might even drink coffee. Because it doesn't make me. So where is the sun?
all right over there.
That's coming up. It's starting to get bright again over here.
You know, the sun's gonna come up like that, so you can.
It's getting brighter and brighter right on that cloud. What time did he say the sun comes up? 5:15 or 5:30? 5:15. They probably said if it's not here by 5:30, we're going back to sleep.
Dude, I just sleep on this.
You're gonna sleep on the rock? Yeah. We got that pillow in the car if you want it.
Timothy Michael. Give me that. Yeah, how you doing? 5:30 in the morning.
It's not 5:30 yet, man.
Looking real good.
It's 5:25.
Hey, where's the close-up for this one?
Yeah, that thing there. Yeah.
Never mind.
I had something like you.
Nah.
Oh, you're missing the sun.
You're so funny. weird when you step away and look in the camera, because you see a square part of what you're looking for away from the camera. Like this, did you see? When you hold like this?
Yeah,
It's all weird, man. These people are all getting ready to leave. Fuck this shit. Back to you.
What's that?
No close-ups. Stop it. Make
That's when you're beautiful. Hey man, it's just like moving back and forth. You what? Whatever, what?
not nice.
Yo, come on, man, I'm gonna fall off this mountain.
Hey, is it the sun out there?
Oh yeah, there it is. Wow, good spot, man. Good looking. That's weird, isn't it? Isn't that weird?
It's cloudy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like bright. Oh, man.
Usually you can see it pop up.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Carol. If this battery dies, I'm gonna take everybody up on this mountain and throw them down. I don't know if the sun makes noises when it comes up. Light's blinking about the battery. Blinking anymore. That damn screen uses up a lot of juice. Say what? It's getting brighter. Yeah. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, it's like... How many pictures are on it? How many pictures are on it? Ah, that was 24. Yes. Yeah, that would be cool, like, if the storm was under us. Yeah.
assets of the big island where we're from. Because I can see line on this side,
Yeah.
there's like a northern out, and then there's the pier. And all those boats are all those right there, all I see is like separate. I need crubbage, man.
It's coming. Just chill. I should have like brought a tripod or something. That's cool. I'm digging it.
Take pictures of these books. I'm just getting myself my daily book.
You know what I say, Chris? You can never have too much book. Too much book.
That'd be cool watches. Like, fix for it. Like, you know what I mean? Huh? Yeah, dude. Fill me in the footage.
I'm about to eat your free trail mix bar.
Alright, well, just make sure I get a bite.
I don't even like this thing.
Alright, we'll eat it. But give me a bite.
Aren't you hungry?
Yeah, man. Hold on, man. We're not at the climax yet. You chill with your back. Not right this minute. Maybe later. Hmm? Watch yourself. I wonder if anybody else stuck a rock there. Yeah, nah. What? That's like algae. think the battery's going.
Your breath stinks. Ew. Ew.
It's bright.
Before it was just a big red dot in the sky.
Huh?
Before it was just a big red dot in the sky. Now it's get back up there.
What? Sweet. What is rocks?
Huh?
All these rocks in a wall. There's still people down there.
Ooh, bugs, yucky. Hope there'd be no bugs in the mountains, but no. They're out there. So there's another pile of rocks over there. It's fun to them. Maybe it's a trail over there. Follow the piles of rocks. Ew, bug on your hand. Ew, bug. Are you staying for the sunset too, Tim?
Yeah.
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 Let's go on the other side.
I just want to see if these clouds.
Is that like your goal? When we go and watch the video, do you think we're really going to want to sit there and just stare at a sun for like 20 minutes on the two-faced?
Yes. That's what I want to do.
It's just going to be a big bright red ball.
Nuh-uh. It's gonna look cool, man.
You won't even be able to like stare at it. You're gonna be like, oh my eyes. You're gonna have to fast forward part like
Exactly. I wanna fast forward the whole thing and watch it go.
Yeah, and we'll come back for the sunset on the other side and then we can watch things and put it together.
Nice and bright.
Ugh, there's buggies.